Well, hello everybody, and thanks for tuning in to Holiday for Two. Dave here, and you're gonna think this is crazy, but I am already thinking ahead of summertime. Yeah, summertime. That seems kind of crazy right now, but because it's still cool outside. But you know, right now, this is the great time of year for desert camping, and I know a lot of folks are camping in places like Yuma or Quartzsite, Arizona, or places where it's really beautiful to camp right now in the wintertime in Arizona. But start planning for the summer, because I'm going to show you some spots that we like to go to. I'm going to call this series Dispersed Camping Favorites. And over the years, we've been to a couple of different places in Arizona that we like to go to regularly. But this summer, I'm going to get out and explore some new spots that all of my friends have been telling me about. Some new sites that are dispersed campsites. But the first one I'm going to do is Blue Ridge, Arizona. And so I hope if you're getting away in the summertime when it's hot in Phoenix, or you just want to get away where it's cool and find a beautiful place to camp in Coconino National Forest or in any of the national forests, stay tuned for this series, Dispersed Camping Favorites. The first place we're going to take you to is Blue Ridge, Arizona. So let's go.
Someday when my ship comes in, I know just what we'll do. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two.
If you're coming from Phoenix, count on about a 2.5 hour drive from the valley. No matter which way you come, whether you come through Camp Verde or Payson, it's about the same time distance. And hit subscribe, like, and share, please. And I appreciate the support and hope you enjoy these videos. As you continue up Highway 260 to the 87, you want to go north on the 87 up to C.C. Cragen Reservoir, otherwise known as Blue Ridge. If you need supplies, gas, or food, any last-minute items, you can always stop at the Mustang gas station. It also is a good place for a phone signal if you need to get a signal in the area. There are some spot issues with spotty signals. We have T-Mobile and we get a good signal right here, but some people have trouble in different spots. So just kind of be aware. This seems to be a good area for phone signals. Continue on up the highway north on 87 till you look for Forest Road 751, and you're going to turn to the right to get off the road. Look for Rock Crossing Campground. And that's kind of where I'm going to start off with. As we go down the 751, if you continue down the 751, you'll pass Rock Crossing, and eventually you will get to the lake. Now, Blue Ridge Lake, or C.C. Cragen as it's called, was actually built back in the 1960s. I think it was finished like 64 or 65 as a lake for water retention and other uses. But as you continue down the road, you will stop at the lake. And the last couple of years, the lake level has really been going down. This picture was taken last summer in July, and I was surprised that it was so low, but there were a lot of rains that we had, so hopefully it will have filled back up this summer. And by the way, there's good trout fishing in that lake too, if you'd like to do some trout fishing. They stock it quite a bit. Rock Crossing Campground is a nice little campground if you're looking for something along a campground kind of setting. You have tables. Now they have tables. I don't know if they have fire pits, but they do have vaulted toilets, and there is fresh water available, and the fee is $16 a night for a Rock Crossing Campground. This was a couple of years ago when we had our trailer, our Gray Wolf, and we pulled it up there and stayed a couple of days at Rock Crossing. The road there's a little washboardy, but not bad. Our favorite spot that we hit last summer was near the 751, near the Highway 87 and 751, and I'll show you some around the campground here. This was last July, around the 16th of July. The weather was beautiful when we got there, nice and cool and cloudy, but as you see a little bit into the video, things kind of changed, so you always want to keep your eye on the weather. Watch. Alright, there's the highway. So that's only like a quarter of a mile up to 87. This is the 751. So there's a little entrance right there. That's the one we took. Then there's another entrance right here. And some little bumps, but nothing major rock there to watch out for, so go to the right of the rock. And then once you get through there, then it's kind of like all that spot, all that back in there is where I was just a minute ago. There's a big fire pit way in the back over there. And then the spot over there. There's another fire pit off to the right. So you could kind of curve around. Lots of possibilities right here. You could even pull off right there if you wanted to. Under those trees. Right there. There's a couple of places you could back in there. So you can get some shade. It's just getting over this little hump here. And that's the road up to Blue Ridge, to the lake. Our motorhome's over there under the trees. But it's a good spot, but there's so many more spots back here. And what I'm looking at right there is where the road, you could come through there and come this way, which is west of the road. There's actually two roads to come in. We came into that road right there. But if you go up just a little farther, there's another turnoff right there. You can come through these trees. And oh my goodness, back here, there's lots of places you could tuck in. There's like a fire pit right there. And all these little spots over here. And I'm looking at the places where it's kind of green. Like right in here. There's not a lot of shade. This isn't too bad. It's got a little green spot here. So some well-drained, good drainage. Oh, it really rained yesterday. It really poured. And the road's kind of a river when it rains. So you want to get away. This is uphill where I'm at now. So anywhere back in here is good. Just about to get another thunderstorm.
I got a better picture than I did.
Storm clouds rolling in. And lightning everywhere. Might see something over there, I don't know. Sparkle, sparkle, crack, crack. And dark clouds kind of moving all around us. Yeeks. And the road just dried out. Well, it's been raining now for about half an hour. See how the road looks. There's the road up there. And it's really coming down. I would say it's about 2 inches of rain. Wow. A lot of rain. And this was the next morning. There was still lots of water around. Boy, did we have some rain. And some friends of ours came up, and they were worried too. So we kind of waited it out until the next day or two, until the rain let up and the waters receded, I guess you could say. The sun comes out, it dries up. There. That's where we were. And slipped a little bit, but look at my tires. I got a good coating of mud on those things. Jeez. And then these tires are kind of coated, so I have to shake them off a little bit. But hey, at least got out. Whew. Now another spot that we've camped at before with in large groups is spot number 2, which is up by the Mogollon Rim District Office Ranger Station. And this is a nice spot if you have a large group. It's near a place called Camp Cully. As you can see, we had several trailers and motorhomes parked in here, cargo trailers and different things that people brought with them. And we're actually tucked in the trees, kind of hiding there in that drone shot. But we brought our Razor up for this trip to do some riding around. There's lots of trails and places to go around here if you have an ATV or quads or things like that. And this was kind of funny. Somebody, it looks like, had camped there before, and probably some kids are Teenagers made a little teepee. Also nice rides that we took down to Barbershop Canyon. And you can go up the tower there. This is a fire service, I guess you would call it a fire service lookout tower. Certain times of the year, they will let you climb up the ladder and go to the top. And when you get up there, you can truly see the whole Blue Ridge area. In fact, I think you could probably see all the way back to Payson if it's a nice day and the weather's clear. On this particular day, there were some hummingbirds flying around. Watch.
Racer each? They're not going to come up this hill.
Wow, honey, there's 3 of them.
I love this.
And there was a fire off in the distance too. Fortunately, we weren't too worried. We asked the rangers if we should have been worried, and they said, oh no, everything's being taken care of. It was under control. So we took a ride down to Barbershop Canyon, and you can see that the road was closed due to the fire. They didn't want anybody going past the bridge. And at the end of the day, it's always nice to have a little campfire for everybody to come get around. So please subscribe, hit like, and share this video. And stay tuned. At the end of this, I will give you more information, especially about a Civil War monument that's in the area if you can get to it with an ATV. Bye.
Some of you might not be familiar with this area, and so I'm going to show you a couple ways to get to Blue Ridge. This is a great place to go in the summertime when the weather gets hot in the valley. And for those who live in Arizona, they kind of know this area pretty well, but there are a couple ways to get to Blue Ridge. If you're coming from up to 17 from Phoenix, you can come through Camp Verde on the 260 and take the 260 until it intersects with the 87. Or you can come up from Payson on the 260 south, come up through Payson, and then where it turns into the 87 right here. And that comes up through Pine and Strawberry from the south, or come through Camp Verde from the west. Or if you're coming down from Flagstaff, you can come south through Happy Jack, Lake Mormon, and Mormon Lake. Come down that way on Lake Mormon Road, which is right here. Now, if you're coming up and you are in an RV and you need to get water or gasoline or supplies of some kind, a great spot to stop is right here in Clintswell. There's a Mustang gas station right here in Clintswell, and they usually have things you need. There's also a post office. There was a little cafe there. Let me switch to the satellite mode. There was a little cafe there, but it's been closed since COVID. I don't know what is going on exactly, whether it's a new owner has taken over, but there was a little cafe right there. Move over a little bit there so you can see it. This is called the Long Valley Cafe, and it's been closed for a while since COVID, and I don't know if they're planning to reopen that or not, but they did have some really great food in there. If you take this highway north, you will run into the intersection there where it goes up to Clintswell and also goes up to Happy Jack. Let me change this here a little bit. I'm going to rotate the map here on you. There. If you take Lake Mary Road north, it'll eventually run into Flagstaff, all the way up to Lake Mormon and Flagstaff. But to get to Blue Ridge, you come on the 87, and there will be a sign right here before it gets to Forest Road 751. If you're taking Forest Road 750 or taking the Highway 87 north, when you come up here, there will be a sign off to the side that will be say Blue Ridge Reservoir just ahead. Let me kind of zoom in here for you. Right there, there it is. It's kind of hard to see on Google Maps, but that's the sign that will tell you to get to, that this is the road that you want to take to Blue Ridge Reservoir. Now once you turn and go south on 751, the spot that I showed you in the video is this spot right here. This is a huge camp spot, and it's a couple of things that I really liked about this spot. My wife and I both liked it because you get a good cell signal right here in this area. You still get a good cell phone signal. If you start going back on the 751, you begin to lose the signal, at least for T-Mobile. Now some people and friends of ours who have Verizon, they say that they can get cell service all the way to the lake. So just kind of heads up on that.
Depending on your service provider, you might lose cell service as you get farther back off the road. One spot where you get really good cell service was back at the Mustang gas station. There are also places off to the north that you can boondock, or I should say dispersed camp. When you're in a forest land, they call it dispersed camping. And the first campground I showed you was Rock Crossing Campground. That's a nice little campground if you have a trailer or an RV you want to park in a campsite. I believe the fee is $15 a night. They do have vaulted toilets, no hookups, no tables, but they do have nice spots. At least I don't think they have any tables. The last time we were there, they didn't have any tables. Now they might now. They do keep upgrading this campground, and it looks like on the Google photo here, it looks like they may have some those may be bathrooms. They do have some vaulted toilets and nice views of the rim off here. But if you go down to the lake, there's Blue Ridge Reservoir, or C.C. Cragen Reservoir. I guess this reservoir actually was built years and years ago, and the dam was built so that they would have water for the communities downwind of here, or downstream of here, such as Pine and Strawberry and even Payson. And it's also a fire. They use this during fire season to draw from in case of a fire, so they can bring in the helicopters and dip water out of the lake. But the last couple years, it's been low rains and the lake has gone down. And you look in the pictures, you can see some of the pictures that I took, how the water level has gone down. So hopefully we'll get some more rain, and it's filled up since then. Another interesting little thing I noticed here, somebody told us about this. There is an actual Civil War monument here called the Battle of Big Dry Wash. And in order to get to it, you would need a Jeep, four-wheel drive ATV, and I think you can access it on the Forest Road 300. But it's way, you got to come in from the south here. But anyway, you get into the right here, and there's this. Oh, I lost it. Oh, that's Google Maps for you. But there is like a little monument here. There it is. And let me click on it. See, it takes you to the Battle of Big Dry Wash Historical Monument. And it's kind of off, yeah, it's off the beaten path, definitely, and you need a 4x4 to get. It's interesting, though, a little bit of history of Arizona. I guess they had like a little battle there years ago. The Battle of Big Dry Wash, July 17th, 1882. And I'll just leave that there for a second. You can kind of look at it. There was a little battle with the forces there and Indians. And kind of interesting little history of Arizona. This whole area is what some of this is called the General Crook Trail, and there was a trail that was along the rim where they would bring in Civil War materials and supplies into Camp Verde years and years ago during that time period. And this was one of the little battles and skirmishes that they had with some of the soldiers and Indians. So anyway, that's a little history of the area, but there are so many nice camp spots along the 751 here. As you come down the road, there's more boondocking areas off to the side. So the road is nice. It's a little washboardy. I brought my trailer here years ago and came down that road. I don't like to take the motorhome down washboardy roads. That's just my preference, but I did notice people back here with big 30, 35 foot Class A's. So it's all in what you want to do and how you want to do it. But there are lots of boondocking spots along the 751. When you get to this spot right here and you try to go off here, you can boondock over here, but it gets a little bit rougher. Just letting you know. But there are places back in here that are nice to get tucked in and camp, and dispersed camping all along this road. So it's all along 751, and 751B is dispersed camping. There's also two other campgrounds here I didn't mention in the video, Blue Ridge Campground and Moquoy Group Campground. And the other place I mentioned was near the Mogollon Rim Ranger Station down the 95 here, what I call group camp here on my Google map. there are lots of nice spots along this road too. And this huge spot back here is huge. If you have a big group and you want to plan a camp with a lot of people, this is a nice spot to come to. It's a little lower in altitude, but as you can see the rigs parked in here and on the trees. There's lots of shade. There is a fence here. You can't go past this fence because this turns into private property. There is a camp collie over here, which is like a summer camp where they bring disadvantaged kids for the summer to give them the outdoor experience. They have horseback riding and a lot of cool activity. We kind of watched them from the distance, and they do a lot of cool things. You can see and hear them sometimes. They, as they're walking along, and they're doing trail rides and stuff. And they also pitch tents over here in this area for the kids. And I don't know much more about it than that. But if you're want to check into that, type it, go to Camp Collie and kind of look it up. It's kind of neat. Anyway, there's some information there on that. So that is Blue Ridge. This whole area is called Blue Ridge, and I really only scratched the surface. So hope this helps you find this area and get a chance to get up there in the summertime. This is a great area to get away from the heat of the valley and enjoy the pines. So hope you find this helpful. Have a great day. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. And please have a great day. Enjoy this. Bye.